Hey there, I'm back for a little recap of the last couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, just to kind of let you know how things are going with my transformation challenge and with the work that I'm doing around the writing world, and also just a general update on how the physicist and I are feeling about things and just life in general. So just a little video log, and you can enjoy my news. Anyhow, to recap, first of all, the transformation challenge where I've been working really hard on trying to build muscle and lose fat. Well, I'm losing weight. I lost 2 pounds since the last time I did my .fit measurement thing. But a couple of weeks ago, the measurement on my muscle weight went down and on my fat weight went up. It was like a me. It's been doing that a little bit all year, but I was disappointed because I've really been working hard at trying to get my muscle weight up. I've been working out at the gym. I've been pushing heavier weights. I've been doing all of those things. But when I talked to my personal trainer about it, he was like, what else is going on? Like, what's happening with you and your husband? Because we both work out there, and he also had a decrease in muscle weight. And I talked to him and I said, well, we've been under a little stress, which is, to put it kind of lightly, not all bad stress, but just things happening in the world that have been concerning us, and also personal life things that everybody has to deal with. So we've been hitting the biscotti nannies maybe a little harder than we should. Okay, confession. That's my go-to if I need to crunch on something. If I'm angry or stressed, I like crunchy food. So then the second thing was that we weren't getting enough protein again. So when you're on a GL1, like Zepbound, you have to have at least 125 grams of protein per day. And I was thinking about our diet over the last month, particularly since we've been back from our trip to Puerto Vallarta. Things like that always throw you off your game. We haven't had enough protein. And I have had times where I haven't wanted to eat. I think it's mostly stress. I don't even think it's the Zepbound. I think it's just my tummy wasn't happy. It didn't want to eat. It didn't want to put food in it. And when I did put food in it, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to eat. I just was not eating right. And I know that. And I'm completely being 100% honest about that, because stress has ways of impacting people differently and how they cope with it. And even though I was coping with it by going to the gym and working out and doing the extra little perks that they have there, like the hydro massage chair and the sauna, the stress just wasn't leaving. Part of the reason for that for me personally is I'm an author. I'm a writer. I live in my head. I'm in my head a lot. I'm either planning a story, thinking of a story. I have a very strong imagination. I have a lot of things I'm coping with mentally, and I have these mental conversations in my head with people that I would like to have in person, but that's another story for another day. At any rate, if you're constantly by yourself and you're in a room by yourself writing words, it's not good for me personally, because I am a people person too. So I like to be around people, and I haven't had much opportunity to be around people. So I immediately started remedying that by going back to Zumba last week. It was not as strong of a workout as I would have preferred, but I loved seeing my friends again. And that was the whole reason I loved Zumba. Was I like to dance, and I like to move, and I like to be with my friends, but I haven't been able to do it as much because of the shoulder issue. So I just dummied it down a little bit and didn't worry about the calories I burned. I just enjoyed being with my friends. And that was great. I also bumped up using the sauna, doing the hydro massage chair, taking those extra steps to care for myself that way, pamper myself a little bit more after my workout, stretching more. But I still wasn't getting enough protein. So how do you get back to that again? And the long and the short of it is, it's time to log food. I stopped logging food, I want to say probably sometime after Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is the beginning of the end, right? You have a big turkey meal, there's desserts, there's lots of carbs, there is protein, but let's face it, we're all going for the side dishes. That's the bird is the main thing, but everything else is side dishes. And we also traveled. We went to Puerto Vallarta in the New Year, so that also impacted our eating, and the protein went down. The truth is, it's really hard to eat 125 grams of protein a day and eat other foods to balance that out. So instead of doing the shakes and all of that, I was trying to do it with more meat, more lunch type meats, more proteins that way, with cheeses, with things like that. And it wasn't enough. It just literally was not enough. My body was like, wait a minute, hello, you need more protein. So this week I looked at the physicist and I said, it's time to get back on the protein wagon. And that's what we're going to do. I have a really awesome recipe for overnight oats that we were eating almost every day that has many, many grams of protein, like 20 grams initially, but I changed one of the ingredients from the sugar-free almond milk to Mootopia lactose-free fortified milk, because a half a cup of that is double the amount of protein. Like it's got like 6 grams of protein in it. So a cup of Mootopia has like 13 grams of protein. So that's pretty good. So I also put whey protein in there, a vanilla flavored protein in there. So that also bumps up the protein. And it gives you the balance of a good carb, which is good for your heart, because oatmeal, that's really good for your heart. Today, actually, I am going to make the oatmeal overnight recipe again. I've got my little mason jars all ready to roll. The other thing that's happened is we have been getting ready for another trip. We're planning a trip to Europe again. We will be leaving at the end of August and staying for 2 weeks. At any rate, we have got the first week planned, Paris and Versailles, which I've always wanted to see, the Seine cruise, the Moulin Rouge, and other little goodies and stuff. We're still working out a couple of details, but we've got the train stuff done. So that was all in the last couple of weeks as well. We've been planning this amazing European trip, and now we're working on the second half of the trip, which will include spending time with our family and friends overseas. So basically, getting there, getting slow and steady there. It's good stress, but it's still stress because you're fielding the emails, you're fielding the phone calls, you're determining what you want to do, what you don't want to do, how much money you want to spend. And we were planning this trip during kind of uncertain times, but we've just decided we can't wait for the times to get certain, because we're not getting any younger. So we're going to get on a plane and go somewhere until somebody tells us we can't get on a plane and go somewhere. So that's what we decided to do. So that was a good stress. The other good stress was I had my 6th book in my new series released on Tuesday of this past week. Probably not the best Tuesday in the world for it to release. There's a lot of things happening, but it was scheduled and there we are. So it released, and I'm really pleased with this story. It's the 6th book, Protecting BRIANA in the Select Protector series. I love the story. This one sort of wrote itself, which doesn't always happen for me. So the characters are strong, and I really feel positive about the way it's moved the story forward and built on my little community, my fictional small town in the Blue Ridge Mountains north of Atlanta. So BRIANA and Max are special. I think their story is super strong. I've been getting decent reviews on it, some pretty nice ones, which then puts me into vapor lock for the next story, because I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to duplicate this. And of course I'm not going to be able to duplicate it, because it's a different couple with a different subset of issues, bringing them together and tearing them apart. And I had to spend quite a bit of time noodling them, and things were not shaking loose as quickly as I personally would have preferred them to do. I usually have a pretty good system for getting into my characters and developing them. But because life was like bam, 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 bamming all around us, I just couldn't concentrate. And so I kept pushing it off and giving myself permission not to worry too much about it. And just decided to take some romance university courses and put my mind into a different mindset. I decided to play around with some other ideas and just focus on going out more, because I really need to be around people. So back to basics I go. I've got to log my food, whether I'm busy or not. And I anticipate being quite busy over the next several weeks, because there's a lot of good things happening, and also a lot of things that I'm preparing to do in the future that I hope will only make my life more happy and more positive, and that I can really springboard from to reach another level, another area in my life that I've never been able to do before. I'm thinking about taking an acting class, actually, so that might be fun, just for kicks and giggles. Why not? I mean, it's a way to express myself in a different way, and since I'm doing these vlogs, I figured since this is the year of me, since October 2025 or August 2025, it's been almost a year now, I've been really focused on transformation, and part of transformation is trying new things and not just sitting in the same place, in the same lane that I've always been. That doesn't mean I'm giving up writing. That means I'm doing things in addition to writing. And also, I think that in doing things in addition to my writing, that will only enhance the quality of the writing that I have. I think the hardest time I had writing was during the COVID, during the pandemic. I'm a people person. I mean, talking to 5 doctors through plexiglass over a year and a half, plus the curbside shopper delivery people, and my husband and my daughter, wasn't enough. I like having random people interactions. I really love meeting new people and being in those moments with them. It kind of lifts me. And if I can somehow make a connection, even if it's momentarily, it's still a good connection. I love my longtime connections, and I've talked a lot about that. Again, I'm the big girl on found family stories. I love writing them. Most of my heroes and heroines are looking for family. Protecting BRIANA is case in point. She is one of my favorite characters. and I don't say that lightly, because she's overcome so much. And she's still, she's had a horrible background. She's had terrible things happen to her. And as someone horrible is coming after her to upend everything that she's done to make her life right and good again. And she's a genuinely good person who would never go out of her way to harm anyone. And I love that about her. And I love Max, because he's a true protector, but he's also protecting his heart, and he's vulnerable, and he's been hurt before, and trust doesn't come easy to him. And for these two to come together and to develop a relationship and find family together, and also as part of the Select Protectors family, build upon that family, it's meaningful to me, because I myself have made my own family wherever I go. I have a very small family. My extended family is extremely small. I have just me, Chuck, and the physicist. Well, the physicist, and my daughter, the career girl. That's our core. And my niece and my nephew live in 2 different countries, but it's still hard to do long distance. It's easier now than it was when my parents immigrated to Canada, because then it was like you sent reel-to-reel tapes to your Oma and your Opa, and you had long distance phone calls that you couldn't afford. And it was very hard to get to know my cousins, because they lived in different countries or different provinces of Canada. So I look for family wherever I go. I think the first family I found when we were not in the United States, but the first family I found when I was in Canada, we moved into this house, and I ran down the street. I think I was 4. I ran down the street, knocked on this random door, and this teenage girl or whatever, this young girl, opened up the door, and I talked to her in Dutch, of course, and she called her mother. I found out later the story from her mom, that there's this little German girl talking to us really super fast at the front door. Well, that family ended up being my hideaway family. I spent a lot of time with the girls. I spent a lot of time at that house. The parents spent a lot of time with my parents. I believe the mom helped my mom learn how to speak English better, and they kind of took us under their wing. So I'm the family finder. So I have been doing that my whole life. And so writing about finding family is second nature to me, because it's part of who I am. I also found family with my critique partner. For a while there, I actually had my name on one of the drawers in their guest room, because I used to go over there to work with my critique partner, Pam Montavani, who is also an amazing author. And her husband put my name on the drawer. Yeah, I'm like, okay, Montavani family, you have to adopt me too. Like, basically, I just find families and I'm like, please, will you adopt me? So it's sometimes hard, because I find these families and then I keep moving around and I keep having to find new people. And it's not, I'm a friendly person, I think, and I'm approachable, but it's a job to create new family wherever you go to find your next family. And I'm pretty good at it, but every once in a while, it does make me feel a little lonely, especially when things are not going well for me, whether it's personal or for my writing, or I'm just feeling blue or down. I'm building on that. I'm building those relationships slow and steady. I've got a few little people that I hook up with and that I enjoy tremendously, and that the physicist and I are calling it group therapy whenever we're with these wonderful people. It's not often enough for me. I'm greedy. I want more time with my friends, because they are my new family and I've adopted them. And then we have, even in our neighborhood, we have the cutest little family. They have 3 kids, and we've gone to their eldest daughter's little plays, and we've done all of that. We just love this family to bits. My husband, the physicist, is like, he just thinks they're the bomb, and they're amazing people. And every time we see them, we get big hugs from them. And the mom's like, we claim you as their surrogate grandparents. And I'm like, well, that makes me so happy. So yeah, we find family, and we can be family for others who are also orphaned to some extent. I really like to make a nice bow at the end. And speaking of bows, if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary, highly recommend. Not going to say anything more about it. I just want you to know it's probably one of the best movies I've seen in an extremely long time. And it does have the bow ending that I love so much in books and in movies. It's got all the feels. So we also did that. Part of the reason for going to a feel-good movie is I needed to escape feeling bad. So we went to a really good movie and we had a great time. So to recap, we've been busy planning travel, dealing with some life issues, dealing with some things that we have no control over, making some decisions for future selves that we were dangled a couple of different opportunities for the physicist, and we decided, I'm not so sure we want to add that to our plate. But we are a team, so we really hash things out together a lot. The physicist and I, we work together on any change, any major change, any minor change that we think is going to impact our family as a whole. We have to all be in agreement with it now. And that included our daughter before we made a big move to Alabama. Like, she had to be on board with that. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone as well as it did. Again, every major change, we're a team, we're partners, we do everything together, we support each other. And this was a kind of a time where we kind of had to lean on each other a little more because there was a lot of different things happening. And with all of that, health is good. The physicist had a very good health report from his urologist, so we're good to go for another 6 months. He's doing great. He's lost some more weight, but we want to build up the protein and the muscle weight for him. He's busy with his physics. He's been busy doing stuff around the house. He's like, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I'm like, that was my world for a while, but I gave you some of this, so I didn't have to do it anymore. And I have some surprises, hopefully, to share with you in the future. I've had some fun events happen that I can't share right now because I don't know quite what the outcome will be, but I've had a good week overall. And now that I know what I have to do to get back on track, because that's what happens. Sometimes you fall off your track and you have to get back onto the track to get things rolling in the right direction again. So everything is going pretty well. But I forgot to track food, and that was when the protein started to go down, and I need the protein to come up. So after I wrap up this video, I am going to go make my overnight oats again and get them ready to roll with my Mootopia. That's the brand I use, my lactose-free skim milk, which some people will be like, ew. But for me, I'm fine because I grew up drinking skim milk because my dad could not have fat at all because he had super high cholesterol due to a hereditary condition he had. So I grew up not eating any of that stuff. I really feel good about how things are going. Our spring has been busy. The second quarter of the year is here for me. I'm ready to hit it hard. We've got birthdays, we've got travel, we've got plans. We have writing to do in my corner. The physicist is doing physics in his corner, and whatever else he wants to do. We're just humming along pretty nicely. So that's my recap for the last few weeks. Things are going well. I hope that you're having a good week. I hope that you find joy and find happiness wherever you go. And I'll leave you with this quote. In April's tender uprising, we remember that growth is an act of rebellion against the darkness, and every flower that blooms is a spell cast in defiance of despair. Let flowers come into your life. Cast out the darkness. If there's somebody or something hurting you right now, look for the light, look for the blooms, and cast out the despair. I hope you have a great week, everyone. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to. I'll put the link to my newest release in the description, and you will have that if you're interested in reading it. And we will just keep on keeping on.